Hello, YouTube and possibly TikTok. This is Okie Packer Fan 10 here, repping a U.S. soccer hat my dad let me take since he doesn't like wearing hats too much anymore, apparently. Don't blame him. Never loved him too much outside of baseball practice either, but I guess with, you know, the one size fits all, I guess I like the comfort of it a little bit better, so. Um, yeah, today is a little special because, I finally have Thomas Wooden Trains layout number 3, but it's not just a Thomas layout this time. From that perspective, it's very basic, but it's kind of got some other elements to it. All right, so uh, you might already be able to tell where this is going, but we have some well, not Lego because it's a different knockoff company that makes these sports figurines, but uh, it's called Oyo, I believe, the ones these are from. But the layout we're about to have, I've reincorporated my Oyos here. Got my Oklahoman hero, Johnny Bench, Hall of Fame catcher from the Big Red Machine. Current Reds legend and basically wasted career, Joey Votto, unfortunately for him. You got Aaron Rodgers, obviously, Hall of Fame quarterback for my Packers. AJ Hawk, Packers Hall of Fame linebacker. And hiding down here is a pitcher, Mike Leake, which he has a fun story because he went from winning the College World Series almost immediately into our Major League Baseball team back in the day. But, as you're about to see, he's got a Darth Vader helmet on his head because he ended up also playing for the St. Louis Cardinals. So, yeah, that's kind of fun. Let's see if I can give you a wider shot of the whole thing here. So, obviously, it is technically a Thomas layout, but it's more of a very, very basic layout because obviously it's more about using the children's pool table to create more of an easy play space. Now, I will note that my 2-year-old niece loves helping me build the track. And my 7-year-old nephew is the one that actually likes playing with the trains for the most part. So the table, while it's technically still too tall for my niece and is basically the absolute height of her reach, she was, like handing me pieces, and that's obviously I ended up making essentially a clean layout, but she is the one that insisted on the pop bridge here that's, ruining the feng shui of the closed-in layout, but we'll allow that because it's a fun bridge. Now, also, when I went to visit my parents in Guyman, I decided I wanted to have some of my Legos, since I finally got my wife to agree to let me bring Legos home. Understandably, she has a very hateful, well, yeah, mostly hateful love-hate relationship with Legos because she hates stepping on them, and I get that. That is definitely a big problem, so yeah. Now, since this is labeled as a train video for, the parts of the train community willing to put up with my creativity here, we have a massive passenger train, double-headed with Oliver in the rear, for all the sort of construction crew and fans that would be helping build the NBA arena here. Yeah, when I looked for my Legos in Guyman, essentially I ended up with only the basketball set, but that's okay. It's a set that actually fits on the table right now. So I've got Edward and Cullen, viewers of my previous Thomas layout vids will know that I call my duplicate Edward Cullen because Edward the Blue Engine's my favorite, and I'm joking about the fact how it sucks that Edward the Blue Engine's not the most famous fictitious Edward anymore. So, Now that essentially got twins of my favorite character, got to have a alternate name if you ever accidentally decide to make stories with both of them. So you got Edward and Cullen, double heading with Oliver in the rear, pushing his brake van tow to this massive passenger train for the Lego event here, whatever you want to call it. And then we got Emily with the Green Bay Packers boxcar, delivering the uniforms, I guess, because her Sodor United football episode was about her griping about not having the best job because she wanted to drive the fans to the game, but she had to learn the hard way that the players can't play without their uniforms, or whatever the moral of the story was. I mean, obviously, longtime viewers of the channel know I'm a snob for Thomas seasons 1 through 4, and to a lesser extent Thomas seasons 5 through 7. But I've broke down and watched a best of Emily playlist just because I know that Emily's probably basically the best character that the hit entertainment era added to the franchise. So I was like, well, let's at least see what they did with that character. And Thomas finally having a soccer episode was kind of fun. So and it was also the very beginning of the CGI episodes, I guess it seemed, if I'm remembering correctly. So it kind of fits in with that for my Thomas nerds. And obviously I decided, since I had room, I don't normally include him because I like to focus on the others, but I decided Thomas and his iconic Annie and Clarabelle could be the alternate passenger train here. I got Percy with the mail train just because that kind of fits, I guess. He's it is bringing, so with an event you could pretend it's people mailing postcards out or something. So yeah, that'll work. Now for this Lego chaos, you'd essentially have to understand my sports biases to get kind of what's going on here. So I guess we'll enlighten y'all on that here. I guess we'll start with the basketball players themselves, since this is a basketball layout. Okay, so the basketball players are from the 2002 NBA All-Stars Lego series. I happen to have 2 Dirk Nowitzkis, apparently, so that's why you got Dirk Nowitzki shooting free throws, and the other Dirk Nowitzki sort of back behind, sort of by where Oliver is. You got Steve Nash, the Prime Minister of Canada, Steve Nash, in the left-handed batter's box next to Hall of Fame catcher Johnny Bench, if you will. I guess my reason for highlighting Steve Nash is just because an academic team, a state competition in Oklahoma, 8th grade, we finished 4th place overall. I remember somewhere in that journey, either in the state tournament or getting there was a question, who is the Prime Minister of Canada? And the other team guessed Tony Blair, who was the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom at the time. And since we had a free guess and nobody knew, I decided, what the hell, I'll buzz in and guess a Canadian just in case. Give everybody a laugh, and more importantly to the strategy of the situation, hopefully get the other team out of their game by making them laugh. So I said the Prime Minister of Canada was Steve Nash. So there you go, the Prime Minister of Canada, Steve Nash. And up here, I've got Tracy McGrady and Steve Francis sort of highlighted because I was a massive Yao Ming fan back in the day, and those two players got traded for each other at one point. They were both Yao Ming's biggest sidekicks, arguably the primary superstars of the team, actually, because Yao Ming was always the number two option on offense for those teams. So, and ironically, they both ended up being on the same team, actually, because once Steve Francis' career kind of fell apart, he ended up going back to Houston on the 07-08 Rockets and ended up being the backup point guard on the Rockets team that still had Tracy McGrady and Yao Ming. And that was the team that got to the second round of the playoffs. Were playing the Lakers. Both Tracy McGrady and Yao Ming were hurt. And then they still nearly won the damn playoff series, even without both their superstars. And that was a crazy series back in the day. And the Yao Ming Houston Rockets are the only Texas team I've ever actually made an exception for on hating all Texas teams. Just because I got that enamored with the 7'6" Chinese dude being, 7'6" in Chinese, basically. So, yeah, congratulations, Yao Ming. And then we got 2 Allen Iversons, one in the black kit and one in the white kit. We got 2 Jason Kidds, one in the dark blue kit and one in the white kit. You got 2 Vince Carters, one in the white kit, one in the purple kit. Speaking of the Prime Minister of Canada, I guess that'd make Vince Carter the superstar of Canada or whatever, since he's representing Toronto, but he went to college in North Carolina anyways, but he's American originally from what I remember. You got Kevin Garnett behind Kobe Bryant. You've got yellow kit Kobe Bryant and purple kit Kobe Bryant. You got purple kit Shaquille O'Neal in front of them. Now this bowling quadrant here is for the 2003-2004 Lakers. Gary Payton in the dark green kit there is my original favorite basketball player, just because, if I'm being honest, when I first got NBA Live 2006, NBA Live 2001, I was scrolling through, and the Sonics had the best uniforms, the uniforms that were in my favorite color, dark green. So on the basketball video games back in the day, I always played as the Sonics. So Gary Payton was my favorite player. And then Utah Jazz man Karl Malone there ended up being him and Gary Payton ended up both being free agents at the same time, and they joined Kobe and Shaquille with the 2003-2004 Lakers that lost the damn finals to the Detroit Pistons. So those 4 superstars formed a super team in the early 2000s that were only together for 1 year, and they failed in 6 games, I believe, in that 2004 NBA Finals. But it was a team I followed extremely closely because I wanted my favorite basketball superstar to win his championship, because back in the day, the only time he'd ever got close was the 96 NBA Finals, where he lost to Tony Kukoc, the last basketball player there. Tony Kukoc's Chicago Bulls. And obviously, as a Packer fan, fuck Chicago, but you have to admit, Michael Jordan was the cultural icon of my generation, so I've always kind of, and I liked Space Jam as a kid, so I mean, I kind of defend the, it's a complicated relationship with the Chicago Bulls, right? Because, I mean, I am a Packer fan, but I'm not a Wisconsin native Packer fan, so I don't know, When it comes to hating Chicago and the other sports, I guess I don't take it very seriously, Obviously, you got the other things going on here. With baseball catcher Johnny Bench here. My dad's from Caddo County, Oklahoma, and and that's where Hall of Fame catcher Johnny Bench of the 1970s Big Red Machine was from. So, Caddo County, Oklahoma. So that's why we've always been Cincinnati Reds fans. I mean, when I actually was first getting into baseball, my dad kind of got lucky that the Reds had just made the Ken Griffey Jr. trade, so it was a little easy to follow the Reds as wanting to follow Ken Griffey Jr. So we got Joey Votto, the current Cincinnati Reds superstar that's been playing for them forever, and adding to the Canada theme, he's Canadian. So you got Vince Carter for the Canada franchise, you got Prime Minister of Canada Steve Nash, and you got Canadian Joey Votto, sort of all in a little cluster line here. And like I said when I showed the boxes, Mike Leake was a impressive starting pitcher we had at one point that went from winning the College World Series almost immediately on to our Major League Baseball team. So, getting promoted from the amateur, getting drafted from the amateur ranks as a champion and then immediately being tossed into the professionals in the same season is a phenomenon unique to baseball because of the way they do things. And so he's pitching to Johnny Bench, but he's wearing the Darth Vader mask because he ended up playing for the St. Louis Cardinals, playing for the Reds' biggest rival. So then you got actual Darth Vader wearing Mike Leake's Cincinnati Reds hat, sort of watching this chaos, chilling with Luke Skywalker, together as father and son again, sort of, here in this NBA All-Star chaos. And to complete the nerd theme here, you got Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader sort of not paying attention, but in the general vicinity of the Big Bang Theory gang, while J.J. Abrams' Trek, Scotty, the J.J. Abrams Trek version of Scotty is defending the Big Bang Theory gang from a Klingon. From that Star Trek set I randomly got gifted from somebody. So, and then also from the Big Bang Theory set, I tossed the whiteboard onto the court floor to give something to distract Sheldon with. So that way, Sheldon's screwing around with the whiteboard essentially, and his newspaper, notes, whatever. So the rest of the gang can pay attention to the chaos. And obviously, Amy's sitting to his left, Penny's sitting to Amy's left, and Leonard is sitting to Penny's left. And then you got Raj standing behind Leonard, Bernadette standing behind Penny and Amy, and Howard standing behind Amy and Sheldon, which, you know what, Howard, I'm going to have to call party foul on that. Maybe you shouldn't stand behind a friend's girlfriend, I guess. So, I guess we'll give you and Bernadette a little bit more privacy here. I hadn't actually thought about the implications of Howard standing behind Amy until I thought it through there. So that can give Raj a bit of a promotion here. So I guess I screwed up the filming of that. But, well, shit. Raj technically... Damn it! Problems with having a sexual comedy in a children's layout. Damn it. So, okay. Raj gets to be on his own little island, I guess. And, okay, yeah. Alright. Or you know what? That would look even better. Make Sheldon more distracted by the whiteboard. Amy standing here. Penny standing here. And Leonard standing here. It makes the... Damn it. Oh no, I'm decapitated! Because these Legos are from 2002. Yeah. Damn it. Alright, so that has a little bit better feng shui to it. They're all standing and they're all kind of in a line. Okay, so you got Raj, Howard, Bernadette, Sheldon, Amy, Penny, Leonard, Kelvin Timeline, Scotty, and a Klingon in the nerd row here. So there you go. Fine. You got Thomas and Lego layout combo number 1, done and dusted and fully explained. There you go. I guess I could take one more step back, and then you got the full picture of the chaos. And I almost forgot the Thomas windmill. That Thomas windmill is kind of tilting in the wrong direction. So there you go. You got the Thomas windmill in this chaos too. So there you go. So yeah, my Thomas nerds putting up with everything else. Thank you for that. Oh, I forgot Birdie's in this layout. too. So let's let him have the road, since I nearly forgot about him. There you go. All right. Now it is completely and fully, totally explained. So there you go. Thomas and Lego layout. Thomas layout number 3, Lego layout number 1, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, there's my combination layout I got to put together. And obviously the basketball Legos aren't put together correctly, but I had the entire set, but I didn't have the instructions, and I got tired of dealing with trying to put it together perfectly, so I just decided to do something more fun. Alrighty. Thank you, YouTube.